Hey everyone, welcome to a brand new Hangout right here on Night Owl Video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to everyone who has recently subscribed, commented, given me the thumbs up. I appreciate all of your support. And I hope everyone out there is doing well. And yeah, let's get on with the show. So if you're new here, my channel used to do a lot of just movie reviews and thrifting hauls. And since about August, I guess I've been sort of changing it up a bit. And I was thinking this morning, that's not a bad thing because life always changes and nothing stays the same, as we know. And so it's okay. And some people will like what you do and some people will move on, and that's okay too. So anyway, the Hangout, which is my new weekly feature, is I talk about what I listened to on the stereo, what I watched on physical media or streaming, sometimes thrifting pickups. I have a couple of things today that I picked up this past week. And I also talk a bit about just life in general, and with it being the holiday season coming up, of course, I'm talking a lot about, well, not a lot, but mentioning that it's good to take care of yourselves and not get too wrapped up in all of the insanity because it's very easy to do. The other thing I encourage is a nice warm beverage. What I'm done with the giving a certain box store, grocery store free advertising. So it's generic grocery store coffee with well, actually, I'm having Silk almond milk today because it was ridiculously inexpensive this past week. I think it was $2.99 a carton, which in this economy is unheard of. But normally, Earth's Own, which is almond milk that is manufactured in Canada. So yeah, so let's get right into it. So the first segment is usually what I listen to, because the thing that I was also neglecting on the old format of my channels, I didn't really talk a lot about music. Once in a while I would have like a vinyl record pickup, which I've also excised from my life. Vinyl, bye bye. And I'm going back to CDs because vinyl is just too expensive and too cumbersome and just kind of ridiculous, really, when you think about it. I mean, I know. If you're a regular viewer of my channel, you know that I bring this up a lot about the sound quality between vinyl and compact disc. I'm strictly team CD from now on, because unless you've got like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of hi-fi equipment and a record player and all that stuff. I mean, I was just rocking like an Ion turntable from Canadian Tire, which I know it's a department store record player, so the sound wasn't great. I mean, it was okay. I'm not a hi-fi person, but for me, CDs are the king, and so I'm going to get right into what I've been listening to this past week. And I've been, guys, with the Christmas season coming, I do tend to go to I have a few go-tos for the holiday time, and I don't know particularly why, but I do feel very nostalgic around Christmas, and this year, the 80s nostalgia is hitting me really bad. So the first thing I listened to this past week was the debut album from Duran Duran. I believe this is from 1981. I brought my trusty magnifying glass, and it does not appear to say what. Oh, wait. Originally remastered 19. Oh my god. That print is even too small for my magnifying glass. Oh my god. How do people see this stuff? This is a 2003 remaster, but I believe the original album came out in 1981. Let's have a look inside. I do like the graphics are look at the design on the CD. If that doesn't scream 1981, I don't know what does. Let's just look on the inside and see. It does have a lyrics booklet, which is groovy if you want to read some lyrics. I find Duran Duran's a pretty easy band. You can hear what they're singing. That's interesting. It does not appear... produced and engineered by Colin Thurston at Red Bus Utopia and Chipping Norton Studios, winter 1980 to 1981. So wow. So this album was recorded 45 years ago. Yikes. This has some great standout tracks on it. You could argue like Duran Duran classics. Girls on Film, Planet Earth, Anyone Out There, Careless Memories, Tel Aviv, so many good ones. And the cool thing about this one, and I don't know if you can see the band, but this is before they got really big. You could see Andy there with a very beautiful bouffant. And look at Nick. He's like all like, this screams like 78, 79, that blouse with the, what do you call it? That thing, that scarf, neckerchief. But the cool thing about this album actually is, even if you know Duran Duran as in like Wild Boys and, what's that? I can't remember that big hit they had like later into the 90s, but this is actually like kind of dark sounding and quite moody and quite, I don't want to say angry, but at times, yeah, kind of shouty. And it's a very different sounding Duran Duran from like the later stuff. So if you've never heard Duran Duran, this might be kind of a cool start. It's a bit, Girls on Film and Planet Earth, those are, but some of the other songs, yeah, like Night Boat and Sound of Thunder, like some of these songs are a little darker sounding, so cool. I listened to Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Chair. I only listened to this once in the car. Sorry for the glare. I listened to this in the car the other day. This was my 1985, guys. I listened to this. I had this on cassette back in the day. This has Shout, Everybody Wants to Rule the World. My personal favorite, Head Over Heels. I love that song. This has a lot of good songs on it. And again, another one where, like, their debut album, The Hurting, was very moody. This one, though, I would argue also has some really dark stuff on it. I can't remember the name of the song, but there was one with like this rolling drum part on it, and it was like, wow, these guys were, well, they don't look angry, but they look like nice boys, don't they? But yeah, this actually has some pretty moody moments, I would argue. So yeah, great spin. I'll probably listen to that a few more times in the car. So yeah, I have this weird 80s nostalgia. I usually feel nostalgic for like the holidays, that time of year. I tend to reflect a lot on the past and think about the future as well. Of course, that's important. And also be mindful to be in the present, especially when enjoying that hot turkey sandwich on Boxing Day, but that's for another time. But yeah, and I tend to also feel this weird quirk towards surf music at Christmas. I don't know why. Maybe my dad used to play the Ventures at Christmas or something. I don't know why, but I have this weird thing. And like rock and roll, early rock and roll. But for now, my feet are firmly planted in 80s nostalgia. I also bought this compilation a couple years ago. It's called Teenage Kicks. It's a 2-disc, 28 classic new wave tracks on 2 CDs. 2 CDs, stompin' value, it says. And on the cover, you can see the Doc Martin boot coming down. Here's the thing, and this was something I was talking to with my friend Jody at the record store. On all of these compilations, which most of these came out into the 90s and early 2000s, for the 80s, Duran Duran seemed to always, what's the word? like whenever these compilations would come out, they would always only have one or two Duran Duran songs. The Reflex, and I think Wild Boys might have appeared on a couple, but you don't get a large swath of Duran Duran songs on these kind of retro collections. The Reflex is a very common one you find. Let's see. This also has Small Town Boy by Bronski Beat. Also, can I take just a minute to go on a little rant here? I don't know what bank it is. Is it TD or Scotia Bank? I can't remember, but one of them uses Small Town Boy as their music in their television commercials and their YouTube ads. And it really pisses me off because it's that commercial where it's like a sad person sitting in a bar or something, and it's like I can forget what the tagline. And my apologies if I cranked on about this before, but it's like the commercial is basically saying like there's always somebody that has more than you, and like, but it the way it's framed at the beginning, it's like it's basically almost, to me, it feels like ever wish you could be that person and somebody's got that better car and somebody's going to that fancier restaurant, and in the background the brazenness of this bank to put Small Town Boy by Bronski Beat as their background music really irks me. I'll I don't know the sexuality of Bronski Beat. I think they were gay, but that song to me as a teenager was like an anthem of like the small town queer person struggling. And even when I was that age and I didn't know that I was trans or queer, to hear that song, Run Away, Run Away, it something in it did speak to me, because I guess I was a lonely boy back in the day. But it to me, it's a very powerful song, and it's a very heart-wrenching song. And the video that accompanies the song is like this little guy, the lead singer of Bronski Beat, and he's just a little guy, and you can tell he's kind of like pining for this guy, and they're at the swimming pool, I think, and other boys are laughing, and it felt really like how it felt back then. It was like, because kids back in the 80s, if you were out, things were not good for you. And so for me, being very introverted and quiet and questioning my sexuality, and still questioning my sexuality, that song was really powerful for me. And it really bothers me that and I know the message in the bank commercial is like, I think in the end it's like be happy, basically be happy with what you have and cherish your friends and the people that you're spending time with. But it's a bank. It's like they're out to make money, and they want your money, and they want you to use their services, and they want you to collect points on their credit cards, and it's a business. And this song to me is so sweet and tender and vulnerable. And why, it's like, it kind of makes me sick that a lot of people will now associate a bank with that song. That's my rant. So other songs on this compilation, we have She Blinded Me with Science by Thomas Dolby, Blue Monday by New Order, not one of my favorites. Girl in Trouble is a Temporary Thing by the band Romeo Void. If you do not know Romeo Void, go onto the YouTubes or the Spotifys or wherever you get your music, or go to a record store and buy a damn CD or a damn record, or even a damn cassette at this point. But Romeo Void was a great band. The one thing that always grabs me about that song is the drums. Man, the drummer in that band is so good, and his drums sound so good too. This also has Da 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 by Trio, one of the first songs I ever tape recorded off of the radio onto my tape recorder in open air. Yeah. Video Killed the Radio Star by the Buggles. That one always appears on these 80s compilations. Hold Me Now, Thompson Twins. 99 Luftballons by Nena. Surprisingly, this has Teenage Kicks by the Undertones, which was kind of a strange in amongst all this other kind of new wave stuff. But Birds Fly, Whisper to a Scream by the Icicle Works, a big favorite of mine. Yeah, the list goes on. Tainted Love by Soft Cell. I also listened to this compilation that I made. You can see how this is, guys, this is how nerdy I was back in the 2000s. Well, I've always been a huge nerd, but I don't know if you can see that, but this was my radio show, Star Power Radio, and this was my episode Best of 80s Pop, and this was dated October 5th, 2003. So if you want to freeze it, you're welcome to. And then I have all these little notes. The little blue notes are for when I'm on the air doing my radio show. I have something to read in front of me. So, for instance, I played Killing Moon by Echo and the Bunnymen, and then I would say that's from their 1984 album Ocean Rain, put out on Korova Sire Records. Echo and the Bunnymen started in 1978, and Ian McCullough, the lead singer, went solo in the year 1989. That song, well, it's not listed here, but that song I believe is also on the... Is that on the Donnie Darko soundtrack? I think so. Anyway, this also has A Dance With Me by Lords of the New Church, Pale Shelter by Tears for Fears, Revolution by The Cult, New Year's Day by U2, which was a big one for me when I was really young, Blaze of Glory by The Alarm, Chance by Big Country, Kid by The Pretenders, Speed Your Love to Me by The Simple Minds, I Got You by The Split Ends, The Flame by Arcadia, another Duran Duran, Splinter Project, That Was Then But This Is Now by ABC, Original Sin by INXS, Sad Sad Rain by Platinum Blonde, Coming Up Close by Till Tuesday, Don't Give Up, Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush, and Elegia by New Order. I don't know if those were all 80s, actually, those last few. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know about Don't Give Up by Peter Gabriel. But yeah, that was one of my episodes. I think that month, October of 2003, I did like each week I did like the best of the 80s. So 1 week was punk, 1 week was heavy metal, 1 week was new wave or pop, and then I forget what the other one was. So yeah, so I've been listening to that. And then finally, I think this is all I've been listening to. You probably noticed I've been going through my old CDRs from early 2000s and other kind of weird nostalgia. And I found this one, and all I had written on it was Motown Christmas. And I put it on the stereo, and by gum, that thing played for over an hour. So I didn't put it in my CD drive to see if I could see what the tracks were listed, but I did find on Wikipedia, I found an album called A Motown Christmas, which was originally released September 25th, 1973. Some of the music had previously been released on the 1968 compilation Merry Christmas from Motown. And it says this music has sometimes been recycled into different packaging. In 1999, a new single CD version was released with a bonus track by Marvin Gaye, I Want to Come Home for Christmas. And then there was a second compilation, A Motown Christmas Volume 2, issued on CD in 2001. So I'm not sure which one this is. I didn't write out the track listing, but it's a beast. And I'm not a big Christmas music fanatic, but I do have a couple of Motown Christmas ones that I really like. I think I have a Temptations Christmas, which is good. But this one, just to give you an example, has Santa Claus is Coming to Town by the Jackson 5, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer by the Temptations, My Favorite Things by the Supremes, which is beautiful. Diana Ross nails that song. I Saw Mommy Kissing Santa Claus by the Jackson 5, Ave Maria by Stevie Wonder. If you want to feel your heart melt in real time, listen to Stevie Wonder sing Ave Maria. Silent Night by the Temptations, Jingle Bells by Smokey Robinson. That could be problematic for some people. White Christmas by the Supremes. Have Yourself a Little Merry Little Christmas. Jackson 5. So it's just great. And I put this on the other day when I was feeling a little blue. And wow, lifted my spirits right up. And then I guess what I watched on TV, I was supposed to, sometimes my landlady has appointments in the city, and she pays me a small stipend to drive her to the city and back so she can go to her appointment at the hospital. And I was slated to go last Monday, but then we had snow and she felt nervous, so she told me I could stay home, which was my day off anyway. So that day, when she called me, she said, we're not going to go to the city. I said, okay, that's cool. It was snowing. It was cozy in my apartment. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to pop on some Christmas movies and just have a nice day. So the first thing I watched was this really old copy of Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. I bought this VHS last Christmas. I have this on DVD. I might even have it on a different version of VHS. But when I saw this little beauty on the shelf for $1.99, I felt I had to have it. The artwork is just beautiful. Look at this. This is from, let's see if there's a year on it, 1986. A stone cold Christmas classic. There's a lot of Grinch stuff out right now because they're re-releasing the Jim Carrey one. But look at this. Look at this packaging. It's got the MGM UA embossed print on the inside. Yeah, I couldn't resist grabbing this one. Look at the sticker on the tape. Just a thing of beauty. And this tape plays like a beauty. From 1986. So that was the first thing I watched, and then right after that, because I was a little cozy, I was a little sleepy. I didn't actually end up watching all of it because I fell asleep, but I did also watch a VHS copy of Tim Burton's The Nightmare Before Christmas. Another classic. I've told you on the channel before, but the first time that I saw this, I actually bought, this isn't my original copy. My copy was since donated, but I did pick this up last year or the year before. And I remember the day I bought this on VHS. I had never seen the movie, but I knew, like, you know, Edward Scissorhands and Pee-wee's Big Adventure and Batman. And so Tim Burton, and it's a spooky Christmas Halloween crossover stop motion animation movie. I knew I'd probably really like it. I put it on. I was blown away. Absolutely, the first time I watched this. I still enjoy this movie quite a lot. I've seen it a lot, so it doesn't quite have that same magical feel to it as it did the first time. But man, such a cool movie. And I know the youngsters are still watching this and enjoying it, and that makes me happy. This wasn't actually directed by Tim Burton. This was directed by Henry Selick, who I think also did the James and the Giant Peach movie, if I'm not mistaken. But this, I think the story was by Tim Burton, if I'm not mistaken. And it was produced by Tim Burton. Yeah, based on a story and characters by Tim Burton. So yeah, if you've never seen this and you're looking for a little spooky Christmas movie to watch, always a winner. Hot dog, we have a winner. Hot dog, we have a wiener, I should say. That's how the saying goes, of course. Get some of this stuff out of the way. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. I've been watching a lot of Christmas specials on YouTube. In particular, my favorites are the Andy Williams Christmases and the Lawrence Welk Christmases from the 70s. Just fantastic. And it takes me back to those days when I was a little kid. In my grandparents' basement with the fireplace going, and Sunday night, Lawrence Welk. And I don't know, we were kids. We just watched it, I guess. I don't know. We didn't question if this was like shows for fuddy-duddies or old people, but we just enjoyed it. So yeah, I've been watching, and the Andy Williams Christmas specials are fantastic. A bunch of them have the Osmond brothers on there. Andy Williams has his brothers on, and I think their band was the Williams Brothers. I think that was the name of it. And they do a lot of really, really beautiful harmonies. And I mean, I'm not Christian in any way or religious in any way, but those songs, you know, like It Came Upon a Midnight Clear, and I don't know, all those songs. I mean, they're obviously like Christian biblical kind of songs, but they're beautiful songs. Some of the melodies and the harmonies that the Williams brothers do. So highly recommend those if you're looking for something a little more wholesome to watch this Christmas. There's a lot of them on YouTube, varying degrees of quality. There was one on there which was the best of Andy Williams Christmas, if you can find that one. I think it was only about a half an hour long, but it showed clips through the years, and it was just great. And then the last movie I watched, which yesterday I did I did actually the majority of my gift wrapping yesterday. Yeah, I'm ahead of the curve. But while I wrap my gifts, I usually watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, or sometimes I will change it up and I'll watch Arnold Schwarzenegger in Jingle All the Way, directed by Brian Levant, produced by Chris Columbus. I don't know. I've got a weird history with this movie. I liked it when I first saw it. Then I got turned off from it. I thought it was really cheesy, and then I've kind of come back full circle, and now I kind of enjoy it again. I know it's not great. I think Arnold is a great action actor. I don't know if he's a great comedic actor, but this was just a fun, goofy movie, and it gets me in the mood for the holidays. And like I said, when I'm wrapping my gifts, because I do have to send off some gifts early to people that don't live near me, so I need to be somewhat prepared for that stuff. And with Canada Post being a bunch of dicks, I have to send it through UPS. So I like to get that stuff done early, and then avoid the rush. But anyway, I did put this on yesterday when I was wrapping gifts, and it's fun. Arnold Schwarzenegger, there's some classic Arnold Schwarzenegger lines in here. Put down the cookie. It's really cool. There's so many funny that, like, even when I'm watching the movie, I'm like saying the lines ahead of the characters and stuff. I've seen it that many times. This has a theatrical version as well as an extended director's cut. And I watched the director's cut last night, and I think that might have been the first time I watched that cut. And because I'm so used to the movie, when I'm wrapping gifts, I'm not always watching the screen, but when it was a different scene that I'd never seen before, I'd like, oh, what is this? I don't remember this. So this extra scenes really didn't add much to the film, but yeah, it's just cheesy Christmas stuff. Sinbad is in here, of course, as well. So basically the story is that Arnold Schwarzenegger was supposed to buy a gift for his son, played by the boy from Star Wars there, Jake Lloyd. He was supposed to buy this action hero for his son for Christmas, and he forgot to buy it. So then he has to go out on Christmas Eve day and try to track down one of these dolls, and everywhere he goes, they're sold out. Sinbad is a somewhat disgruntled post office worker who is also looking for the same toy for his son. So Sinbad and Ernie go head to head trying to find the toy. At one point, they sort of team up. And then at the end, of course, they have a big showdown, which is really cheesy. But anyway, I recommend it if, I don't know, maybe you're cleaning or you're baking or you're just, I don't know, it's not a movie that I would sit down and be like, wow, oh my God. I'm not listening to the director's commentary or anything, although I don't think there's one on here, but This also has the Making of a Hero featurette, Super Kids featurette, and Turbo Man Behind the Mask featurette. So, yeah. I'll probably watch this again if it's on cable between now and Christmas. But that's it. Now, on to the physical media pickups, because I know a lot of people wait to see what I found while I was out in the charity shops and thrift shops and things like that. Didn't find much, guys. Before I get into that, though, I bought some CDRs for myself for a treat. I bought myself two sort of things I would consider more like treats. But I have been making some, going back to CDs. I bought a CD burner, I think earlier this year. And so I've been listening to CDs on my CD drive plugged into my laptop while I'm at work with external speakers, just to have music in the background that's not YouTube with ads. But then I was like, you know what? I haven't made a CD in so long. So I've been working on ripping some of my CDs and making some compilations and things like that. These are the ones that look like old 45s. I couldn't believe how much CDs are. This is a 10 pack. It was $25 plus tax. I remember getting this for like, they were $1 a disc. You could go to the dollar store and buy a CDR for $1. So I guess because less people are using them now, they probably sell way less, so then they have to mark it up. That's weird. They put digital vinyl. I don't know what that's supposed to be. It says retro design mimics popular 45 RPM record format. So yeah, so I'm gonna make some compilations, and I don't know, maybe make a couple of mixed CDs for friends for Christmas. Might be kind of a fun idea. The other thing I got, which is not a movie but movie related, I found this old textbook. Well, I don't think it's that old because it's in really nice shape. This is a textbook. I used to have a version of this textbook. It's called Understanding Movies, the second Canadian edition by Louis Gianetti and Jim Leach. And I had a copy of this, and then when I moved and I was downsizing, I think I got rid of it in a purge. But I've been kind of missing it because, and I'm going to give a plug to one of my favorite stores here, but or a store I've frequented anyway. But this is it's been written in, it was a student's textbook. But it has a lot of stuff about the making of films, about framing and, stuff like that. And I only read a little bit of the previous version I had, but I learned so much from it. And given that I'd like to make a short movie or a video or something like that, I thought maybe I should repurchase this book and give it another read, or give it more of a thorough read. So yeah, it seems like it seems like it will be very interesting, and to learn about framing and things like that, and what do you call it, composition, dorky movie stuff. Because one thing I learned, which I always notice now, which I never did before, which I don't know, I'm a simple creature, but when I watch movies, I watch the movie, I enjoy the movie, but I'm not analyzing the shots, and sometimes the sound, if it's really good, I'll pick up on it. But I read something years ago, and it said that, like, when the camera is shooting up towards a character, it's to show that that character is the dominant character in the scene. And when the camera's shooting down on a character, it's to show that they're, like, submissive, or they're like the non-dominant, this is getting a little kinky, character in the scene. And so now when I watch a movie, so often I'll pick up on that. Dutch angle, which I knew a little bit before, but I read more about that. So yeah, I'm really curious to revisit this book and learn some more stuff before I make an attempt at my own filmmaking. I mean, I've done a little bit just here and there, dribs and drabs, as they say, but I feel like this book could give me some pointers and things like that. I just noticed that this is cool. I just was flipping through it and I noticed that no, I can't find the page. I saw a picture from the movie Stranger Than Paradise from Jim Jarmusch. Yeah, right there. So the book, obviously, and there's Clerks, of course, there, delves into a little bit of like, there's a chapter on sound with the ever sexy John Travolta. So yeah, so I'm happy to have this back and happy to maybe start to dig into it a little bit. The only physical media that I picked up this week, guys, which I didn't realize till I got home. Before that, I want to give out a shout out to a bookstore, Black Cat Books in Kentville, Nova Scotia. You can find them on Facebook and Instagram at Black Cat Bookstore. They're on 373 Main Street, Kentville, and they have this really cool bookmark that came with the book. There's the info again if you want it. A cool little bookstore. Had a lovely chat with the folks in there about, we talked about the holidays and shopping, and I told them my stories about my misfortunes with online shopping in years gone by. But yeah, check them out if you're in the area. Black Cat Books. Cool little bookstore. So the physical media that I picked up 3 Blu-rays, and these were originally housed. This is part of a trilogy. If you want to take a guess, no, it's not Star Wars. For my old school friends, but I only realized after I paid for these and left the store and got into my car, I was like, oh, these were probably housed in a box together, which is unfortunate. Because one thing that Value Village does that also really ticks me off is when it's a box set, they take all the discs out of the box and then price them individually. Just do a box set, guys. Like, I don't know. Because the price they charge me for each of these, they could have easily done that times 3 and I would have paid whatever it was with the box it came in. But for some reason, they seem to throw the boxes out, I guess. Anyway, what I ended up getting was these really nice editions of the Lord of the Rings Extended Edition Blu-rays, which is something I've wanted in my collection for a while. I have the old DVD box set that comes in those ones that look like books, which is a beautiful set, but I was always thinking, I wonder what this looks like in high definition. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger on these. The other thing I noticed too is that, well, it's very similar to the layout of the DVD set, except for the fact that it comes in the thinner cases. But I'm just sorry, my OCD is kicking in, and I have to straighten these discs so that the text is upright. It's bad. But the thing I did notice is that the movies, so the movies are on Blu-ray. So you got, and they're still divided over 2 discs because the movies are so damn long. The extended editions, I think the Return of the King is like 4.5 hours long or something. It's crazy. But I did notice the special features are on DVD, which is basically what I have in that box set. So I will probably watch these on Blu-ray this year to see if I notice a difference in the picture quality. And if not, I'll probably just hand these on to somebody I love, and I'll just stick with my DVD box set. It would have been nice to have these in a little box. I have the Hobbit set like this in these little thinner cases housed inside a box. But yeah, I was a little ticked off by that. But still, I'm curious to see what these look like in high definition. The packaging is still pretty nice. It comes with a little booklet, which has scene selection, information about the appendices. Of course, Peter Jackson is infamous for his appendices, which you can see. This is basically like a roadmap to what's on the special features. And it is exhaustive, if not exhausting at times. So far, all I've watched is the appendices for Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey, and it took me a whole day to basically get through. It was like 5 hours of special features. So I may be being a little ambitious this year with my visit to Middle Earth, but I'm going to try to get through. I've never watched the special features on the Lord of the Rings box set, which is disappointing to me because I love that stuff. Peter Jackson is so good at his extra features. Like, he's got so much jam-packed into there. Behind the scenes stuff, interviews with the actors, interviews with the crew, setting up and dismantling scenes, just the hurriedness behind the scenes of trying to get this thing built and filmed and everything. So anyway, I was really happy to add these. They were charging $5.99 a piece. So 3 6s are what? 18. So like, say a little over $20 for these 3. I looked up online to see if this was originally housed in a box, and yes, it was. And I was seeing those box sets going for like 60, 70 and up. So am I really worried about not having the box? Because I've been looking for these Blu-rays for years, and I was just like, I'll just wait. They'll come along, and here they are. So maybe in a couple more years, I'll find one with the slip sleeve, and I'll hand these on to somebody else that loves them, and I'll have a whatever. Or if they come out on 4K. I don't know if they're on 4K. I wonder what that would look like. But I find with movies, as they're getting older and upgraded to 4K, I don't really see a huge difference. For me, with my eyesight, I don't see a huge difference. There's been a few standouts. For sure, The Shining on Blu-ray, I immediately was floored by the quality difference between DVD and Blu-ray. And I would say the Mad Max Fury Road looked really nice. So those ones I'm actually kind of like actively looking for the 4Ks. Because if they look that nice on Blu-ray, I bet they might look and sound even better on 4K. So, but I'm not a big 4K person. Blu-ray is just A-okay for me. So anyway, as I mentioned in previous recent videos, I do go through the Middle Earth trilogies around this time of year. And like I said, this year I'd like to watch a bit more of the special features. So we'll see where that goes. Oh yeah, I didn't bring, can you hold on? Can you just hold the line for 1 second? I'll just put this up and be weird for a second. I also want to say, I discovered and rediscovered some holiday treats because it's that time of year and this stuff's being marketed like hell. But these Lay's turkey dinner chips are unbelievably good. Celebrate the season with the warm flavors of slow roasted turkey, herb infused stuffing, and rich savory gravy. Well, they actually just taste like roast chicken chips, but I was curious what they tasted like, and when I bit into one, it took me right back to my childhood because I sort of forgot that I used to love roast chicken chips. And when I bit into that, I was like, oh my God, it was like I was transported back to 1976. So yeah, they taste like roast chicken chips. If you like that, they might have a little hint of an herby spiciness that roast chicken chips don't have. And then the other thing I've been really noshing on, and this is for a limited time only. This is the Smart Food sweet and salty popcorn, and it's got a Christmas wreath on it. I'm not sponsored by these companies, for the record. I'm just giving you the heads up if you're looking for something tasty to snack on in the evening while you're enjoying some programming. Those things are so good. Like, I sat here yesterday afternoon. I think I could have eaten that whole bag of Smart Food. It was bad. It was really bad, but so darn delicious and good looking. But yeah, I had to give those snacks a shout out. So with all that said, guys, it's coming up on the 45-minute mark, and dang, I forgot. New releases coming out this coming Tuesday. So on 4K, we have Eyes Wide Shut, the final film that Stanley Kubrick made before he passed away. That's coming to 4K from Criterion. Reanimator is coming to 4K. I think I've got the Arrow Blu-ray of that, so I probably don't need the 4K. Tromeo and Juliet is coming to 4K. I mean, did anyone ask for that? I'm not sure. Pride and Prejudice is coming to 4K. Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein is coming to 4K. What else? Oh, Conjuring 4 Last Rites is coming out on physical media this coming Tuesday. I did notice that went to streaming yesterday here in Canada, so I may actually watch that this coming week. Hack-O-Lantern is coming to 4K for some reason. Let's see what else we got. Not much. There's an Alec Guinness box set. Garbage Pail Kids, the movie from 1987, is coming to, it appears to be Blu-ray. 4K. Oh, no, it is 4K. So there will probably be some people that'll want that. Sisters is coming to 4K. That's not the... Is that the De Palma one? No, this is something else. From 2006, a movie called Sisters. I was thinking that was Brian De Palma for some reason. Blues Brothers is coming to 4K. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, Beastmaster is coming to 4K. I actually saw a DVD copy of that at Value Village the other day, which is not one I see out in the wild very often. Let's see what else we got. 10 Commandments is coming to 4K. Attack on Titan final season. Let's see here. Boys Next Door 4K. There are a lot of releases this coming Tuesday. A lot of it I don't know. The Death Wish collection from 1974 to 1994 is coming out. It's a 5-disc collection from Kino Lorber, coming out November 25th. This includes Death Wish 1 through 5. Yeah, that might be kind of cool. That's a Blu-ray set. It doesn't say 4K. Yeah, it's a Blu-ray. Still though, I think I have all of the Death Wish movies on DVD. So that's kind of a cool set that's coming out this coming Tuesday. Wow, there's a lot of stuff coming out this week. The Barbarians is coming out on Blu-ray from 1987. Gabby's Dollhouse, the movie, is coming out to physical media this week. I was contemplating buying that movie for my niece because she really liked that at the movie theater. There's a 4-film Conjuring set coming out as well, which has all 4 movies, but you know they're going to make another Conjuring. It's going to be Conjuring the Beginning, or Conjuring Bloodlines, or Conjuring Retribution, or, you know, it's coming. That's definitely not going to be the final. And then I guess Death Wish 2 is just coming out by itself on Blu-ray. So that's it. And then on Friday the 28th, we have The Keep coming out on 4K, which I thought that already came out. This says Vinegar Syndrome Retail 4K. I don't know. I have that movie on VHS and I've never watched it. And there's a Yes release coming out. Yes, Fly From Here. That's Yes, the band. Fly From Here Blu-ray from Esoteric Recordings from 2011. That's coming out on Blu-ray, single disc, 2K Blu-ray. No information about it. Nobody's made any posts about it, but I'm curious what that is. So that's the more or less the new releases coming out on Tuesday. So let me know if any of those things appeal to you. I'm actually looking for Yes songs on DVD or Blu-ray. It seems to be a hard one to find as far as region A or region 1 goes, but I'll probably watch The Conjuring 4 on streaming. I don't think I'll now if this was 6 months or a year ago, I would have been buying the Blu-ray on day one because that's what I used to do, but I don't really do that anymore. It would have to be something really special. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on today's video. Are any of the movies I discussed or music I discussed or new releases I discussed of interest to you? Or maybe there are movies that you love or you don't love, or movies you're planning on getting, or all that stuff. I think there's a movie at the theater right now called The Keeper or something like that. I think it's an A24 if I'm not mistaken. I was contemplating going to see that, but now I see it's getting very mixed reviews. But as I mentioned last week or the week before, I think I'm going to make a trip to the city if Kill Bill, the final, whatever that's called, the Kill Bill, the whole bloody affair. If that comes to theaters, if it doesn't come to my theater, which I'm guessing it probably won't because it's like 4.5 hours long, I may have to take a trek to the city, but I do really want to see that in the theater. So I may, if I have the money and the time and the patience to go to the city at Christmas time, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, this week on Monday, I am helping my landlady get to the city to go to her hospital appointment. So I will be going to Taz Records in Halifax, which is, as I've mentioned in the past, a great record store where they also have a whole bunch of boutique DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks. So I have a big bag of stuff to trade in, and I'm hoping to get some treats and maybe a few Christmas gifts as well. But we'll see where that goes. My people, my lovelies, my sweeties, that is it for this week. Again, leave a comment. Give me the thumbs up if you like this kind of content. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. I'm thinking for December, I might try to pull off sort of a weekly countdown to Christmas with a Christmas Hangout, a special edition Christmas Hangout month. But that may take some work, or may take some time, which I don't know that I'll have a lot, because I do have a lot of stuff coming up. Oh my goodness. Car repairs and Christmas and doctor's appointments and being a shuttle service for my niece to get to her care home, which she does go to from time to time for a stay. So I have a lot of things going on. I have a calendar. I don't know if you can see it from here, but I do have November and December printed off. You could see November is mostly X'd out. So I've been kind of doing like a countdown just to kind of keep myself focused on what I need to do, because I do have a lot of stuff coming up. But I'll definitely do something Christmassy for this channel in the month of December. Whether that's reliving Christmas memories, or if you have any ideas of what you'd like to see from the channel for the holidays, let me know below in the comments. And that is it, guys. Thank you so much for making it to the 54-minute mark. I appreciate your continued viewership and your support. And yeah, that's it. So make sure to take care of yourselves, your friends, your family, your loved ones, your community. Go out if you're in Canada. Support Canadian businesses. I love my American friends, don't get me wrong, but wow. Look, I'm doing an experimental film. But anyway, take care of yourselves. Shop local, and that goes for anybody, anywhere, really. Support your local businesses. Don't feel like you have to go to the box stores. Yesterday, like I said, I went to Black Cat Books and got that book for myself. I did go to another store called Elsewhere, which sells collectibles and things like that, and it was nice because I am ahead of the curve. I was able to go in and just look around, take my time, and find some gifts that I feel, are meaningful to people I love. So yeah, so go out and support those businesses and stop going to box stores. They don't need our help. They're doing fine just on their own. But yeah, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. And you guys know the drill. But until next time, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.